Okay?
Okay.
So we're on, girl. We
All
are
right.
live.
All right.
Well, live,
Hey.
not live. So that's why I
Mhm.
wanted to do these interviews
Mhm.
in a setting where we're just nice and comfortable. We're in the
Yes.
Hotel
It's very comfortable.
Melby,
Mhm.
Foxtail. Not a lot
Mhm.
of people here. That's the good thing about Melbourne.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so I am sitting here today with Jen. Jen, I
Okay.
want you to introduce yourself.
Mhm. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, introduce yourself and tell us where you're from. Not so much where you live because we all move around, but
Mhm.
tell us your name and where you're from or where you grew up.
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Jennifer. I go by Jen though, and I'm actually from Melbourne, Florida. So I'm a local.
Okay.
So I was super excited to be part of this project, kind of representing the local talent. So yeah,
Yes.
born and raised. Yes.
Yes. So we just did
Mhm.
an amazing production in Melbourne, Florida. And that's
Mhm.
the reason for me sitting down with you, talking to you, and wanting to shed some light on what we just did
Yeah.
because it's absolutely amazing. And the fact that independent artists can come together and create something
Yeah.
at this caliber with so many great things in this movie. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a complete full feature film. So I'm like,
Right.
that deserves recognition. All of the great people I met on set,
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I want people to know these people. I want people to know
Oh
that
yeah.
Melbourne is here.
Mhm.
We bring in this amazing project.
We're on the
Um,
map. Yeah.
we on the
Mhm.
map. And it's like, and when the project comes out, it's gonna be even better.
Yeah.
To know that this was done right here in Melbourne,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So I just wanna I always start my interviews by telling people where they can connect with you.
Sure.
For all of my people, you know that you can always find more about me
Mhm.
at underscore Gabby Kennedy on Instagram. That's my place. And also my website, www.gabbykennedy.com. And Jen, I want people to know where they can connect with you more, where they can find out more about you, and then we'll get to talking about a little bit more about who you are and how you got
Yeah.
connected to this project.
Yeah. So I like you, I have an Instagram as well. It's jen.falco. And I have Facebook as well, and I also have a backstage. But if you guys go to my Instagram, it's all, you can see the links to my Facebook and my backstage website as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And um, speaking about backstage, for people who may be already actors, people know immediately what you're talking about when you say backstage.
mhm.
But for people who are up and coming or somebody who would see you and say, I want to do this too,
Yeah.
what would you tell them about backstage, about, just like genuinely, how has it been helpful to what you're doing as an actor? How do
Yeah.
you
It's a platform where you can share your content and you can talk about yourself as an actor and you can find jobs and roles and
Yes.
connect. And I think it's a great platform for
Yes.
actors. So up and coming actors, even seasoned actors.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mhm.
Speaking of backstage, there are a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
Um, Backstage is definitely one of the biggest ones. Here in Florida, we also have Casting Network, and then also for actors, Actors Access.
Mhm.
And you want to talk about being able to kind of create your own opportunities. That
Mhm.
is how you do it.
Yep.
You get yourself
Mhm.
connected to one of these casting networks,
Yeah.
and you just let it roll.
Mhm.
The auditions start rolling in.
Yeah.
These casting offices are getting to know your face. They're getting to know who you are. Every time your profile pops up for them, they see you,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Especially a
Absolutely.
place like Florida.
Yes.
um, so I kind now to kind of lighten it. We talk about casting networks, but
Yeah.
that information is so important,
It
Jen. Like,
is.
people don't know you can get out here and you can make it happen for yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
like some people think you have to wait on your agent or you have to wait on your
Mhm.
manager,
Mhm.
but a lot of people were connected to this movie, Twisted Divorce Party,
Mhm.
by efforts that they made on their own or friends who
Exactly.
they knew.
Yes.
It didn't come by way of your manager or your agent.
Right.
It's not always like that for us here in Florida.
Right. Yep.
So, you know?
Absolutely.
Um,
There's a hustle there that you can do on your
yes.
own, and absolutely, yeah, and you're great at that.
You
So
know it,
you
girl.
inspired me actually. So
Yes.
yes.
Yes. And that really is how you make it. You know, if you
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about that hustle, like,
Yeah.
just tell me a little bit more about how you get yourself into position for things like this to happen to
Yeah.
you. If you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think just well, number one, surround yourself with positive people that can, give the tips and advice on how to do that.
Yeah.
And then, so I want to thank you because you actually were inspiring to me. And after kind of your tips and guidance, you inspired me to use clips from, outtakes and things like that, and just keep a record of everything you've been in. Everything is marketable,
Yes.
you know, um, and just keep everything,
Yes.
keep it organized, and don't be afraid to show the world what you have, be
Yeah.
confident about it. And um, yeah, I think we all have something, doesn't matter how big or small, a project is.
Absolutely.
If it showcases your talent, what you're capable of doing,
Mhm.
then you can, yeah, I think you should put it out there
That absolutely. That's
and
that's
never stop.
good.
Yeah.
And people need to hear that
Yeah.
because people see us and they don't know how we got here, but it's really just a ambition to put yourself in a different place
Yeah.
than you would normally have access to. All you do is you get out, you follow the steps. You don't have to reinvent the wheel
Mm-mm.
to become an actor or be a good actor. You just get out there, you follow the steps that other actors are
Hmm.
already doing,
Hmm.
and you create your own success. And
Hmm.
that is what we are doing here today,
Yes,
baby.
I'm happy to be a part of that.
Yes.
I love how connected you and I are, and how just the individual spirits we have come together. And
Yeah.
yes,
That's what makes the movie so
yes,
good,
yeah.
because a lot of different personalities, a lot of people who live right here in the same place,
Hmm.
we all had similar struggles.
Hmm.
We all had similar hustle, similar minds. Oh, I can't say mindset. I take that back.
No,
But
you're
we
good.
all had similar ways because we're all right here in
Yeah.
Florida doing our thing. So we connected that way.
Hmm.
Just to kind of bring it to another side, I want to know just kind of, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do so that as people get to know more about you, Jen Falco,
Hmm.
and then you look
Hmm.
back on this interview
Yeah.
10 years from now, you'd be like, I wonder if I still like to do such and such, the things that I
Yeah.
used to do. So, what are your hobbies? What do you like to
Yeah.
do? For
No,
real.
that's a great question. Because we're not defined by necessarily work and things like that. I like to define myself by things that I enjoy doing.
Yes.
So outside of work and just kind of, I definitely enjoy. I play the violin, so
Didn't
I
know
have a
that.
musical background.
Nice.
Um,
Tell me more about your musical background.
yeah, I started playing the violin in fifth grade and played through high school and college. And when I went to UCF, I was in the UCF orchestra, and just music. It's always been a part of my life. And yeah, had some great experiences. Just meeting friends, lifelong
Yeah.
friends, and I think music's always been a part of my life. I love musicals. I love Broadway musicals. You can usually find me at Dr. Phillips Center watching a show there.
Nice.
I saw Hamilton there. I love the arts. I also enjoy Zumba as like I love exercise. I've
Mhm.
definitely incorporated that into my
Shout out
routine.
to all the Zumba girls.
Yeah,
Yes.
Zumba girls out there, hit me up. Um,
Yeah.
I love walking and just incorporating exercise into my daily routine, or
Mhm.
kind of just a morning walk to start the day, or Zumba for fun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you have to kind of just incorporate things you enjoy doing,
Yes.
um, especially when it comes to exercise, because no one
I
likes to
know.
feel like, "Oh, I got to go to the gym today." I like to do things that, I enjoy. I love playing basketball at the local park,
Okay.
just shooting
All right,
hoops. It
Jen.
doesn't
Let
have
me
to be,
find out.
yeah. You don't have
Yes.
to do anything too crazy to just
Mhm.
get out and have fun, go
Yes.
outside,
Move.
move,
Move around.
whatever it is. 15 minutes around the block, just move,
Mhm. Yes.
do something,
Yes.
So I incorporate that into my
Yes.
daily routine.
and our
So
health is our wealth. If we're
yeah,
not well, if we're not physically well,
yeah,
mentally well, we can't
it's all
get money.
connected.
Like we
Yeah,
can't go to work. We're not feeling our
yeah,
best self.
yeah.
Um, you know, um, so all of that. Okay, so I need to speak louder. Jen needs to speak a little louder too. Okay, just try to speak
Okay,
louder. Okay.
okay,
All right. So I
okay.
just kind of stopped this, and that's perfectly fine. So that we can just. Mhm. Yeah, oh yeah. Yes, feel free to stop me. Feel free to stop me. Okay. Need to check
Am I good?
Jenny.
You want to check it? Sure. Am
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. No
no, you're
problem.
good.
That's so we'll just jump back right back in. That's
Yeah.
why I love like this is my this is my project,
Yeah.
and being able to move at my own pace. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I hope that you feel the ease that I feel right now too,
Mm-hmm.
of just
Yeah.
knowing that like we're just out here and we're creating this for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. That is
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah.
To
Bringing
Brian,
people
to
together.
me, to
Yeah.
you, this is what we're doing, and we're
Mm-hmm.
doing it for ourselves because
Mm-hmm.
again it goes back to that hustle. We know what we can create
Mm-hmm.
out of taking the opportunities that we get, and we can build on those things. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know, um, pull back up a few of my
Mm-hmm.
questions here.
Yeah.
We were talking about hobbies and
Yeah.
what you like to
Hobbies.
do.
Mhm.
If I had to think about my
Yeah.
hobbies,
What are some of yours?
um, I like to cook. I
Mhm.
like to play tennis. I think I'm self-taught tennis, but I'm pretty good.
Okay.
I do like to play basketball, and I love doing anything that helps along my career.
Yeah. Of course.
Doing this acting thing and hosting, it doesn't feel like work. It feels
Yeah.
like,
I
you know what I'm
agree. Yeah.
saying? It feels like
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm doing for myself,
Mm-hmm.
for my family, for my husband, so I can
Mm-hmm.
buy him a boat. It feels like I'm
yes.
working, trying to,
yeah.
um, not fly him out, but whatever you call on a boat, whatever you
yeah.
do on a boat.
yes. Bring
So,
him on that yacht one day.
yes, are you currently in a relationship?
I am.
Are
I'm in
you
a
married?
very happy relationship right now.
Good.
I'm not married, but
Okay.
I am very happy relationship. So yes.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good, good, good. Um, would you, let's see, Um, okay, we had the opportunity to talk a little bit about training
yeah.
and just kind of what you do and the people that you meet along your training journey. So tell me a little bit about where you train and how it's helped you, even through
Yeah.
the Twisted Divorce Party movie. And then we'll get into a little more talking about Twisted Divorce Party.
Yeah, I'm so happy to tell you about that because I honestly don't think that I could have been as successful as Marie, as my character, had I not had the training that I have.
Yes.
I in Orlando, I'm taking. I completed a class called Meisner One at Truthful Acting Studios in Orlando. Shout out to Truthful Acting Studios.
Yes.
Great, great place to learn.
I have heard great things about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I honestly don't think that they teach you how to transform into the character and through your imagination and kind of evoking those emotions and making it real by kind of associating the situation with maybe a prior memory
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
so taking a piece of reality and kind of using but also a piece of your imagination and combining the two and kind of so and I can give you an example of how I use the technique
Tell
once we
me.
talk about the movie but
Yes, yes,
okay
where we are
okay
segueing right into
segue yeah
that. So,
so yeah
yes, go ahead. Tell me.
well there was a scene in the movie where I had to hyperventilate in front of a
Mhm.
mirror
Talk about it, honey.
which on the spot, just obviously as an actor, you have to get into the character. And I know you're great at that. I definitely see how your technique, but I imagined, I had to imagine my greatest fear, which are cockroaches crawling on the mirror. So I just kind of, you gotta, you gotta go there, you know?
Okay.
And so that taking that class helped me to kind of know what I needed to do to really bring that emotion out, make it
Yeah.
real for the audience, and um, gotta take my mind to a kind of a scary place.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, but it's not real. You can pull back from
Not
that.
real.
So yeah, the Meisner 1 class really helped me, and then I'm planning to take Meisner 2 in August. So I'm going to continue on with the training.
That's so good. I'm so happy to hear
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
every opportunity you get, shout out Truthful Studios,
Yeah, Truthful Acting Studios.
Acting
Mhm.
Studios, because that's your those people become your people
Yeah.
and your community.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself, if you connect with them, you know, years from now, you'll still be able to pull from what you learned there.
Yes.
So stay connected. Those are your people, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I do want to get into talking a little bit about Marie.
Yeah.
So in the Twisted Divorce Party, and I wrote a little synopsis.
Yeah.
Um, I do have time to get to it. Um, but let me just take a break and find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I took some really cute pictures of my kids yesterday.
Did you? Aw.
I'm just looking for it because I wrote it out so gracefully.
Yeah.
Um,
Summarizing the plot is
yes.
probably a bit of a challenge. There's a lot going on in the movie.
Well,
So.
that was already done. It was already
Oh yeah,
done.
yeah.
I just pulled what was right from the website.
Mm.
So for anybody who's watching this, you can find out more about our movie at www.twisteddivorceparty.com. And if you go there, you can find out more about the actors who are involved. You can find out more about the director. You can learn, just hopefully we'll have these interviews posted there and you can learn about who we are. So a brief synopsis of the movie.
Get
um,
ready.
right. And then we'll go into talking about
Yeah.
Marie.
Yeah.
All right. At the historic Twisted Rooster Bar in Melbourne, three cousins celebrate the end of a long drawn out divorce and
Mhm.
end up tangled in an outlandish situation that sends them on a whirlwind adventure. Twisted Divorce Party is a new dimension of girls' night out with family, and a goat with splitting funny circumstances and ridiculous scenarios that will
Yeah.
have you laughing out loud.
Yes.
So I
Great
love
synopsis.
that.
Yeah.
Right? That sounds
Mhm.
so great
Mhm.
because it really is that.
Yeah.
And if you weren't in the movie, then you would never be able to get all of this understanding from it.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
with your
Agree.
character, Marie, Marie is one of the three cousins, the lead character. And tell me how, um, first, let's talk about Marie's costume. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
the costume.
Let's just get into it.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get into Marie's costume.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me about it.
Well, Marie's
And
costume.
yes, Marie.
It's a I was gonna say improvised. An improvised version of Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, it was.
It was not to be too much of a spoiler,
Mhm.
but the queens that
Because
transformed me.
because this will be after the trailer scene, after the movie.
Okay.
So it's
We're good
okay
to-
to go into that part
Okay.
of it. This will be after the fact. So you can say
Gotcha.
what you want
Okay.
to say.
Okay. So the beautiful, magnificent drag queens decided to transform me into Edward Scissorhands while I was passed out.
Mhm.
And so I wake up and they kind of just used whatever materials they had available to them at the club. So it's
Mhm.
obviously not, high level costuming here.
Mhm.
And it was just the wig. The wig will go down in infamy. I'm
There
gonna
was a
keep that wig
wig.
forever. But just it's supposed to be it's Edward Scissorhands, so the
Mhm.
black wig, the white makeup with the dark eyes, and
Mhm.
I personally think they did a very good job
Mhm.
of turning me into Edward.
A version of
Um,
Edward Scissorhands.
a version of him, yes,
Yes.
their version of him. So
Mhm.
I was uniquely Edward, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
How did you feel about getting dressed up? Because we had a lot of production days, and how did you feel about getting into costume almost every time we filmed? How was that for you?
Well, like you said earlier, when you're acting, it doesn't feel like work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's physically demanding. Yeah, there are hours you put in.
Yes.
Yes, you feel it physically, but when you're in the moment and you're on set, there's just an adrenaline that I had the entire time, to be honest with you. So I liked getting into the costume. I liked wearing the boots. I liked wearing the wig. It gave me a sense. It really brought Marie out
Yes.
because I was um, enjoying the process of being Edward. Well, dressed like Edward
Mm-hmm.
because I love what I did. I love acting. So for me, it didn't feel like work at all. And the longer I was in the costume, the better I felt,
Yes.
which sounds a little strange because long hours in boots doesn't mean that. But it was the fact that it was so tiring that actually gave me a sense that I really did the best job by staying in character.
Yes.
By staying in that costume, I'm able to stay in the character, Marie.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And you had a unique role, I would say. I've seen it done before where, there were a few knockouts and things like that. And you
Yeah.
see characters in films get knocked out, sometimes continuously.
Yeah.
And
With black eye.
every time that you were knocked out and you had to recover from that, you came back so strong.
Thank you.
Like I'm trying to say, like, you had to change from who you were before you got knocked out. Before you got knocked out, say you were,
Yeah.
and just for example, you might have been looking for something, then you're knocked out. And then when you come back, now you're here with this headache and this black eye.
Yeah.
Everybody was just the
Yeah.
whole time getting more and more
Yeah.
annoyed and aggravated as the movie goes on. And you could see that
Yeah.
through the characters. Like, we really
Yeah.
did paint that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So,
Mhm.
aside from, who you are as Marie, I want to ask you, and it might take you a second to think about it.
Mhm.
What is your favorite part of the movie, or what was your sort of your favorite scene, or your favorite part, or your favorite person, just something that you really liked and that you took away from the movie, from the filming
Yeah,
process?
that's a great question because you have to think.
You have to think
Think
about
about that
it. We can pause too
one.
if it takes long.
No, I have the answer. It was the scene when I woke up,
Okay.
the first scene. Most I really went there
Yeah.
in that scene. Just the moment I woke up and realized, didn't know where I was,
Mhm.
didn't know how I got there, didn't know why I was dressed like Edward
Yeah.
Scissorhands,
Hmm.
and just taking in the club that was in disarray,
Yep.
and just kind of that realization of I'm no longer Marie, I'm no longer the put together psychologist.
Yes.
I'm now this crazy.
Because that was your
Yeah.
your job, all
Yeah.
right? In the
Mhm.
film, you were, and the whole thing got started from, um, you being this, just this psychologist, very put together professional.
Together. Yes.
And you have a divorce, you get divorced, and later on, you and your cousins go out and party.
Yeah.
Something that people do all the
All
time.
the time. Every day.
It's just our journey took on more of an adventure.
Yes, it is.
And if you want to know
Yeah.
more about what that adventure is, you gotta go first of all, you have to see the movie.
Mhm.
Second of all, you gotta stay connected with us to see what little things we're gonna sneak in there,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be really great and a really
Yeah.
great journey getting to know everybody
Yeah.
outside of the movie. We have more of these talks coming up where we will talk to some of the drag queens, maybe some of the ones who
They're so
may or
amazing.
may not have dressed you. We will talk to people who actually are a part of the Twisted Rooster bar community,
Mhm.
and they can really tell you what it's like
Yeah.
there. So
Yes.
for us to be able to go in
Yeah.
and make a movie there, it's going to be really special.
Yeah.
It's special. And I like to call it kind of like our version of the bird cage. I
Yeah.
don't know if the director would want it to be called that, but I can
Yeah.
really see how this project is going to propel the Twisted Rooster bar,
Yes, I
and
agree.
for the owners and everybody, the performers and everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really great. So kind of going back to before talking about before the movie, how did you get connected with this project here in Melbourne, Florida?
Yeah.
Not Australia. Not
Not to be
not
confused with
Melbourne,
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Melbourne, Florida.
Um, I That's a great question. I have a local friend that lives here, um, that works in the industry, and she was able to tell me about the audition that's coming up.
Okay.
So it was through a friend, like you mentioned, earlier,
Mhm.
that through friends is kind of how we all came to know about the movie, and
Mhm.
not necessarily the traditional way of having an agent.
Yes.
So I sent in a self tape, assuming there'd be a lot of competition, and I was very, very thrilled when I heard I got the part. But
You were the one.
yeah, yes,
And as you were one of the, before I even joined the project, you were one of the first people on it. And I was so inspired to see, like, before I came to audition, I took my time. I kind of checked out some things, and I was inspired to see you and Latanya and
yes,
Janet. You guys were some of the first people on it. And I was like,
yeah,
I would like to go and see who these people are, what they're building, what they're doing. And I think that
yeah,
more people are going to do the same thing when
hmm
they want to see what we're building, what
hmm
we've done here, and they're going to want to take a peek inside. So this
yeah,
interview
yeah,
is inviting them to
yes,
take a peek.
yeah,
I want to find out a few more questions for you, Jen.
yeah.
Um,
I love them. Keep them coming.
Okay, all
That's great.
right. If you don't mind sharing,
No, not at all.
what are your long-term goals? Like, what would you say, this is what I want my next role to be? And would it be something that maybe includes music?
Hmm.
Or, you know,
Yeah,
what would you want? What would you say, this is what I want my next role to be?
yeah,
Fit?
no, that's a great question. For me personally, I want to make sure I work on my craft, so I'm gonna finish Meisner too.
Yes.
But honestly, my next project, I would love it to be in theater, and I'm certainly open to musical theater as well. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I
Yes.
think my dream would just be in a theater
Theater,
production.
theater production.
Yes.
Now, you
Yeah.
mentioned the violin.
Yeah.
Do you sing? Because that's a different, you do
I
sing.
do. Yeah,
You
I
do
do
sing.
sing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, yeah,
That's good.
I
You sing, girl. That's
I do.
it.
I do. To
Yes.
be, you guys
To
will
be
see.
continued.
To be continued.
I love that. I love that. So that's good. For me, and it's even in my bio, I want my next project to be, they are making Girls Trip 2 with Tiffany
Yeah.
Haddish, Jada Pinkett, Regina
I'll
Hall.
start cast there. Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love to just have a small supporting role
Yeah.
in that setting with those women in that space and time. And this is part two. Part one was great,
Mm-hmm.
but I love Tiffany Haddish,
She
what she
fit right
does
in.
as a comedian,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I want to keep it funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I want my next role. I want my next role to be another comedy.
Okay.
Twisted Divorce Party was a comedy, and I think that we did really great at making the funny moments really funny.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
we
can't
did.
wait to see
Yeah.
how it portrays on camera.
Yeah.
Um, so, you
Yeah.
know, um, kind of like, would you ever consider um, creating your own project around?
Yeah. Especially in Orlando, that they have local small short films
Yes,
and competitions there and things like that.
yes. I mean, talk about it
Short film.
because
Yeah.
I kind of got my start.
Yeah.
I
You
won't
told
say
me.
my start, but I went through the process of Orlando Independent Filmmakers,
Yes. Yeah.
and they were just a great team of
Mm-hmm.
filmmakers really combining forces. And everybody from actors to producers to directors to um,
Mm,
gaffers to cameramen. Everybody puts
yeah.
their skills together multiple times a year. They do what, maybe like three competitions a year.
Yeah. They have one coming up right now. I mean, they're right now they're all wrapping and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
September 2nd. Yeah,
they
is
give them all a name. They
mhm.
make 9-minute challenges. I
Mhm.
believe that the films are 9 minutes. And everybody comes together
Mhm.
and puts work in to get these
Yeah.
9-minute shorts filmed.
Yeah.
Then they do a film festival where
Yeah.
everybody comes in,
Yeah.
shares their work. You're talking about 20 to 30 films every time.
Yeah.
And people are really getting their start.
Yeah.
People are really making a change in what they're doing, like really, putting Orlando on the map. And
Mhm.
these people go on further
Mhm.
to do great things. The
Oh
ones
yeah.
who it sticks with some people and other people it doesn't. But
Yeah.
the ones that it does, it just carries on. It's just really great. I believe the founder is Tivia. I've had an opportunity to work with her. I didn't even know
Oh,
who
that's
I was
awesome.
working with
Yeah.
when I was working with her.
Oh, okay.
I
Maybe
was
that
just,
helped a little
and
bit.
maybe that helped, to even know that
That's
this was the
exciting.
founder of
Yeah.
this project, and she was included in the project that I was in,
Wow.
called Olivia Jones. I will plug myself. And I was a 911 dispatcher, and I got my
Yeah.
start there. I can't thank these people enough for
Mhm.
really kind of giving me a platform
Mhm.
and helping me to accelerate.
Yeah.
So, another good
Absolutely.
one here locally, since you mentioned theater, the Henniger.
Henniger Center.
Would
Yeah.
you consider, because the Henniger does about how many shows would you say?
Oh. I'm not
I think
100%
they got,
sure.
I know, I mean, maybe 5 productions,
Yeah. Maybe a little more.
maybe more.
Yeah.
Like they really are back to back. They did The Color Purple.
Mhm.
They're gonna do the Christmas Carol. I can see
Mhm.
them advertising that, and it's not
Mhm.
even too far from where we are
No.
downtown here.
It's right there. Yeah.
Um, and even one of our characters, one of
Castmate.
our castmates
Yes.
was
Was in it.
there. So you wanna,
Yeah.
I'm considering talking to Fenty as well.
I think you
But
should. Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about Fenty's role, or how she came
Huh.
in, or kind of what she meant to the rest of the cast, if
Carmelita.
you
Yeah.
don't mind, as Carmelita, and kind of who she
Yeah.
was to the story. And I think Fenty
Yeah.
will do good too. Maybe I will talk to Fenty and
Yeah,
get some
yeah. I think you
information.
should talk to Fenty. She'd
I'll
probably give
talk
you
to
more of the
her.
theater side of things and
Yes.
what that's like for her coming in from theater to film and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because it is a difference.
Yes, yeah, very different.
Eh,
But yeah, no, Carmenlita was funny because she's just like the mm, she's a ninja warrior
She,
who comes in and rescues us.
yes, she
um
will. She does not mind busting a head or two if she
no,
has to.
she keeps it real.
She
She just tells
does.
it like it is and um saves the day. I consider her like the hero in a lot of ways in the movie. Um, and at times kind of comes out of nowhere, but that's what I like about her the
Yes.
most. Yeah.
Yes, she does.
So
Um, okay. So aside from what we talked about so far, do you have anything that you want to add to our conversation? Something that you want to talk about, anything that you want to share, just put it in here. Let's add it in. It is going to be
yeah.
all distributed properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But tell me what if you want to add something.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me the platform to do this, and you've been great so far. Wonderful questions, and I appreciate what you're doing. Putting this together. So thank you, and I appreciate you, Brian.
Hmm.
Appreciate you so
Shout
much.
out to Brian, our
Shout out.
technician. Thank you,
Yes.
Brian. He is doing everything here,
Yeah.
making this happen, making this a quality project for
Yeah.
us. And
Let's make it.
independently, that's another thing that comes along with, um, doing this on an independent level. The quality
Mhm.
is the quality is everything. So anytime I go into a production,
Mhm.
I'm always wondering, kind of
Yeah.
like, I wonder how this will be because we're in front of the camera. We don't really see
Right.
everything that goes into it.
Yeah.
And
Don't.
sometimes, the I won't speak on that too much. I would just leave that right
We
there
gotta
where it's at.
recognize people behind the camera.
People behind the
Absolutely,
camera.
everybody, yeah.
And I want
Gotta
to
recognize
talk.
everybody.
I want to talk to our crew as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I said, let us talk to crew because, we work with them just as much as we did our cast members. And if it wasn't for them bringing that quality,
Mhm.
bringing those angles, discussing ideas
Mhm.
behind the camera,
Mhm.
our project would not have turned out as great as it did.
Mm-mm,
So I
no.
want to get their insight because it felt like they were right there in it with us, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
from lights to sound to everything, all of that matters. So
Yeah.
people don't get too much to really discuss so much behind the
Behind.
camera. But
Right.
with these
I agree.
interviews, I want to bring that out,
Let's talk about
you
everything.
know, let,
Everything. Yeah.
let's talk about
Like
it.
paint the picture.
Um, so,
So yeah. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys, doing what you're doing.
yes.
As far as my message, I just want to say, follow your dreams because I
Okay, hold
honestly.
on. I want to ask you that. So
Okay.
we'll cut
Yeah.
this out, right?
Yeah.
I want you to do say that.
Yeah.
So Jen,
Yeah.
um, if you could send out a message through this interview, if you could inspire somebody, or if you could just say something to somebody who's watching you, and who's inspired by what you're doing, what would your message be? What is your message?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say like follow your dreams because we all go through life sometimes and our creativity is stifled. Um, and it's in there, you know?
Yeah.
We all have an intuition and an inner creativity. And just remember that you can do whatever you want to do. And even if you, like, honestly, if you asked me like a year ago, could I even consider being in a movie?
Yeah.
I would say no,
Mhm.
absolutely not. Like, you can do anything, honestly. And like, I think I just knew I always wanted to be in acting, and I kind of just shushed
Yeah.
it.
Say
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, you'd have to just try. And I think this move, I appreciate Emmy giving me a chance. And I was new to this. I've never done anything like this before. I'm
Yeah.
very humbled by the experience and
Yes.
grateful. And just just remember, if you have a feeling and a gut and in your intuition, you want to try something, go for it.
Do it.
You've got nothing to lose. And I think life is too short to just be afraid of the challenge and that could bring to your life.
Mhm.
Be excited about the challenge, you know?
Yeah.
So I was excited about the challenge. I step up to the plate, and it's okay to be scared. I think when you're scared of something, that means you're doing something right.
You
So
can
yeah,
definitely say that,
yeah,
because sometimes you have to I call it going scared.
yeah,
You want to do something,
yeah,
but you have to just do it. Even if you're afraid, just
yeah,
step into that, push through that,
yeah,
and achieve what you're trying to achieve. So
exactly.
that's a good thing too, because not enough people talk about, going scared, you
No,
know,
they don't.
people will give up.
Yeah, and and also all the people that were brought together. I wouldn't have been able to meet everyone that I met had I not taken this opportunity. And I mean, everybody that all like the castmates, everybody, the crew, it was just so great. You meet
Mhm.
people from all different backgrounds, but we all came together for one goal,
Mhm.
to make this movie. So it was just like an overall great experience that I wouldn't have had otherwise had I not just went out there and um, took on the challenge. So
Mhm.
just try,
That's what
Yeah.
the director set out to do,
Yeah.
to bring us all together
Yeah.
here in this town, and she achieved exactly that. She brought a lot of
Yeah.
independent actors together, and she
Yeah.
made something absolutely great. And
Yeah.
I cannot wait to share more about it.
Yeah.
Um, so, one question that I'm going to ask everybody,
Yeah.
right? It may or may not make the cut, but
Shoot.
Jen, how do you get twisted?
How do I get twisted?
How do you get we're at the twisted divorce party. How do you get twisted?
In general or my character?
However you
General.
in general. You.
Me?
You.
I I don't get twisted much these days. I'm an old lady. No, just kidding. How do I get twisted? Oh, it might involve some Tito's vodka. Maybe just a shot or two. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
But music, music,
Yes.
and a little Tito's,
Yes, and
and I'm
yes.
twisted. I can get a little twisted. Yeah.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I
Yeah.
want to find out from everybody.
Yeah.
This is the Twisted Divorce
Yeah.
Party, and we are gonna get twisted. Like
Mhm.
let's talk about it, and
Let's all get twisted. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Let's just get twisted.
Yeah.
So, Jen, thank you so much for
Yes.
meeting me.
Thank
Mhm.
you, Gabby.
That's okay.
Excited
No.
about when you thank her and everything. I'm going to change.
As we are wrapping up our interview, I would like to ask you, Jen,
Yeah.
what message do you have for anybody who is um, looking at you, seeing what you're doing, seeing this amazing project that you were just a part of? And it just feels like all one big blessing, the way that we all came together and everything like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's something happening here.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I want to get with you guys. I want to sit down with y'all. I want to get more in depth of who you are because something is happening here. I don't know what it is.
Something. Yeah.
You
I
know
feel
what I'm
it too.
saying?
I feel it too. Yeah.
And it's just like I just think that that just deserves recognition.
Yeah.
So, what message do you have for anybody who's looking at you, rather an actor, maybe not an actor, just someone who is just likes what they see? What message do you have for people?
I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet because I want to say a lot here, but simply do what you want to do, and I follow your dreams because all of us have an inner creativity that's probably been stifled. So reach down into your heart, and if you feel like I've always wanted to try acting, audition, audition for something, take an acting class, do it because life is too short to not try something that you've always wanted to try. And that's why I'm sitting here right now
Yeah.
with you because I did something that I always wanted to do. And it's never too late. You're never too old. And you can make time and make time for things that you really want to do in life. And yeah,
That's a good message.
message.
That's a good message. I think a lot of people are don't pursue things because they're nervous, they're scared, they don't feel like they have what it takes. Some people will say, I don't have, everybody advises your first step to get become an actor or become a model, get good headshots. Some people stop right there.
Headshots. Yeah, keep going. Mhm.
They stop
Yeah.
right there. Little do you know, all you need is some good lighting and just bring who you are.
Yep.
And people will get with it, and that's what they will hire you for. That is what they will want you to be in their movie or their
Yeah.
commercial, whatever, because of who you are.
Mhm.
I don't think people realize how much um, the person who you are goes into your
Oh,
craft.
absolutely. Yeah.
And what you do as
Yeah.
an actor,
Yeah.
a lot of you goes into that. But then you bring a character to it and you make it happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta just step out there. You gotta go scared. You
Yeah.
gotta
Go scared. that's my new catchphrase now. I like that.
Dang.
Go scared.
A lot
If
of
you're scared, you're doing something right.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to be scared.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's that thing that's made to stop you. It's
Yeah.
made to hold you right there where you are and keep you from moving forward in life
Mm.
because that fear stops a lot of people.
It does.
So if you're watching this, go
Mhm.
scared. If
Go
this is
scared.
something that you want to do, me and Jen sitting here are prime
Prime
examples
proof.
of
Yeah.
getting out there
Yeah.
and doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
So,
Go.
Jen,
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. It's been
Thank
awesome
you.
talking to you. And yeah.
Thank you for being here today. And again, we are at the beautiful Hotel Melby, downtown Melbourne, connected to Foxtail Coffee. Thank you so much for helping us, sponsoring our interview, just literally helping us to achieve a goal. And I appreciate stuff like that. Genuinely, I really do. And you helped me to achieve this goal. I want people to know who you are
Yeah.
because you're a fantastic person. You were the first person I met
Yeah.
in our casting call, and we connected from then. And I'm so happy that we're still connected now. Thank you.
Let's hug it out.
Let's hug it out. Thank you so much.
Gabby. It's been
All
great
right.
talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'm ready.